Hey YouTube, it's Chuck. Good morning. I figured I'd bring you along with me today, and I had some unexpected finds in my swarm traps today. I went out to run an errand and I said, hey, I'm just gonna swing by the swarm traps. It's late in the season here. I really don't expect anything. But wouldn't you know, two of the swarm traps that I guess I haven't visited in like 3 weeks had bees in them. And the reason I say it's unexpected is because I usually try to check my traps every week. I guess I didn't get to these. And these traps had bees going in them. I spray the outside with a water bottle to kind of make them run inside if I don't pick them up early in the day, or if I go out before daybreak. If there's a small little cluster of bees here, I take a water bottle and just kind of mist on there to make it feel like it's raining, and they kind of all scurry inside. I 3D print these little doors so I can just quickly close the entrance without having to stuff something in there, and they're pretty secure. It's got ventilation holes in it. And I already made a separate video on how I make these traps. But the reason I'm highlighting this, and I'm doing it at the truck, is when I went to lift these off the trees, they are full of honey. I don't have a scale. Matter of fact, I just ordered a scale on Amazon because I wish I could have showed you how much these weigh. It's unbelievable. I mean, here we are in the middle of May, and we're in the flow, and I think this one's even heavier. I think that one feels like it's 150 pounds. Maybe it's 100, whatever. I shouldn't even give a number since I don't have a scale. But in any case, all the way down here at the bottom of this entrance, I was able to see wax. The frames only go this deep, which means they have already built this entire box full of wax and honey, and probably brood, and it's gonna be a god-awful mess. So I figured it might be entertaining for you to watch, and also just kind of get to see how I get in here, find the bees. I've already done a couple swarm box videos, but I know they're kind of entertaining, and everybody always comments that they really saw something I did and learned something. So I'm just gonna do it again. I have one other errand today, and hopefully I'll put that on video too. I have a gentleman coming to buy 2 queens, and I'll just show you how I pull queens out of my mating nukes and put them in cages very quick and easy with the candy plug, so they're ready to give to a customer that needs a queen. In any case, here is the swarm traps. They're going into the apiary. I'll see you on the other side. Oh my gosh. Ugh. All right, YouTube, I'm gonna bring in the shop here just to show you the different types of cages I use or have used over time, specifically when I'm selling queens or giving queens away to neighbors that need them. I 3D print these cages after I modeled them after the Easy BZ cages that someone designed. I redesigned my own model because I liked the thought. These are the ones I purchased. Love the design. Thank you very much for giving me the idea. I made mine a lot more ventilated. I put a water hole in the bottom and some different things like that. But I don't sell these because, well, I just don't sell these because I use them for myself. Perhaps I could print these. They're not very expensive to print, and I have a lot of these other ones. Let me go through the ones I'm not going to use. This is an older type of cage. This is called a California cage. You can buy these. They're just a tiny piece of wood that's got like a routed hole in here with a hole here. And you would put the queen in here, and then you would stuff this with candy, and then either tape over that or just let the candy release. A tiny little cage for a queen and a few. These are typically used in shipping queens because you can stack a whole lot of them up in a box and ship them. I normally don't use these any longer when I'm selling queens or giving queens away, but I just wanted to show you, this is called a California cage. I used to make my cages with a little bit more room out of a piece of 1x2 and then a Forstner bit just to drill 3 holes. Many of you may have seen these before. They're an older kind of a homemade do-it-yourself style. 3 holes just to give room in here, and these are, I don't know, they're about a little bit more than 3/4 of an inch each. So, and then a little hardware cloth on top, stapled, and then you just staple it when the queen is in there. If you put the queen, because you need to put candy in the one hole, in actually the far one, a hole, so there's 2 holes for the queen and workers, so that's how these work. And then you have to fill these with something, either candy or a cork if you don't want them to escape. You could tape over them also. I used to use these a lot, but making those cork little plugs out of wine corks or things like that was a little bit cumbersome. But it was a fun woodworking project, and if you're into the DIY, this is probably the one I would recommend. Something like this with some hardware cloth and just plug it in. What I have gone to now are these cheap little plastic ones. that are made in China. Sorry about that. I haven't found anybody making in the US, but they're so cheap. They're like 10 cents a piece or something, maybe even cheaper than that if you buy them in bulk, and I buy them in bulk, and I always got some in the bag. But what happens is they're so cheap that these little plastic things will fall off. So it's trash when they break off. So, you know, you buy more because some of them will work. And what this does is this folds over, snaps in place, and then this folds over and snaps in place, and it's closed, and it has a feeding tube. So since this is what I'm using today, I'll show you how I do this. And here is my Talente cup full of queen candy. And this queen candy is a mixture of powdered sugar and honey and or corn syrup, if you want, mixed to a consistency that when kind of put together with your hand is not too wet. If you put this in 90-degree heat, you don't want it to melt and ooze out. So it's got to be a little drier than wet. Some people say Play-Doh. Play-Doh might be a little bit too wet. You know, you kind of make it pliable, you put your fingers on it, and you can kind of see how it sticks together. And then what I do is I just kind of force this in here into this tube and let the leftovers kind of go in there, and I jam this tube full of queen candy. I'm holding my thumb on the other side so that it doesn't come out too much on the other side. There we go, it's coming on up. All right, so now you can see that tube is completely full and ready for a queen. Now, because I don't know when this queen will be released, I put tape on the outside for my friend who's taking this queen, so that if he puts this or she puts this in the cage, the bees can't get through that, and they can either take the tape off or punch a hole in that. So this cage is now primed and ready for a queen and a few workers. Now, another technique, if you've got a big tube like this, is you can just kind of push this in here and get it started, and it kind of does the same sort of thing. Doesn't go in as tightly with that technique, and then you still got to jam a little bit in there. Okay, so that's all I really wanted to show you, is how I get my cages ready, the different types of cages I've used, the plastic ones you can buy to have them always on hand, or the wooden ones that if you like to do woodworking, you can make and have ready. They're also really good for introduction cages too. So this is a little bit more, you know, for selling. You can introduce them into, you might want something bigger with more food for introducing queens into your own hive. So it's just a thought when you're taking queens and perhaps introducing into a hive, what form factor you would want. Okay, those are the 2 queen cages. We're going to be ready. I'll go grab some queens, and we still have, don't stick with me, we got to undo those swarm hives. They are going to be crazy, I have a feeling. Anyway, we'll see in a bit. Okay, welcome back. All right, so this 3-frame nucleus colony, I don't know if you can see in there, inside the bees are just packed. My notes on here said the last time I saw a green marked queen was on the 11th of May. So this has been a 3-framer in the flow, probably needs to slow down a little bit. So taking a queen out of it should be a good idea. Now, in order to do this, I'm just gonna kind of walk you through it. I may have to speed it up if I'm annoying the bees or I don't see the queen right away. But just slowly looking in here and taking a quick glance. Everything looks good so far. And active queen, I see eggs and larvae, so she's in here. There she is. Okay, over here by the strip, she just went under it. There she is. So this little lady is my first candidate. So I just typically lay this down and I get my queen cage ready. She should still be under here. And you always grab a queen by her handles as best you can. Do it quickly. And then here you can put her in the cage and then flip it over. Whatever's easier, just kind of, she's in there. And now close it over. So now you need, in a cage this size, you need 3 or 4 workers. Now this is a trick. If you notice when you smoke bees, many of them stick their heads in there and are sucking honey down. Those are the easiest workers to grab right now, because you just grab them by their handles and they can't sting you. Well, they can, but it's not in there, they don't have the right angle to sting you, because you're grabbing them from the wings, their butts kind of go in the air, and you can either push their butts in first or their heads in first, but they could sting you if you stick your heads in first. Like, see, she got me. Now she's gonna die because she bent her abdomen up and around and got me. So So you can see it's not a flawless process, but it works pretty good. I didn't even feel the venom from that one, so it was, maybe it didn't even go through my skin. All right, that's probably enough. Get them all in there. All right, so now you get all the workers in there, and you close this over the other side. Make sure it's all snapped nice and tight, and that's how it looks. Got a queen and some workers ready to go. Don't put her in the sun, put her in the shade, and then this can go back together. All right, I'll take one more, and I'll speed it up and show you the other side. I guess I should mention real quick, thanks for sticking with me. Now that the queen is gone out of here, all of this data is irrelevant. I can put the date that I sold her, or that I removed her, right? So today is the 24th, so 5/24, I put RM queen. Now, what that means is if I don't put a queen in here, today is effectively grafting day for those eggs that she already laid. So I'm gonna go up here in my grafted section and put the 24th was the graft day, even though I'm gonna let them make their own queen if I don't have any queen cells, and I don't right now. So, and then I do my queen math based off of grafting day of today. So this is effectively gonna be a walk-away split. I just remove the queen, there's plenty of eggs and larvae that I verified, and they'll make a new queen. And with my queen math, this queen, if everything goes well and she comes back and successfully mates, should be laying on the 14th of June. That's the way the math works out. Grafted today, she should hatch on the 5th of June, she'll be mating on the 10th of June, and she will be laying on the 14th. That's how that works. All right, let's grab another hive. All right, YouTube, now for the main event. I've got more gear out here to be prepared than I normally have for a swarm capture. I've got my frames that are empty. I've already primed these frames. And when I say primed, meaning having one half of them ready, here's an example. So with these rubber bands, you just kind of go over one side so you can lay wax into one side of these. For those of you that hadn't watched the video on these are these rubber bands, Advantage brand from Amazon, and they are size number 117B. They are 7 inches by 1/8 of an inch. So a few of those that are primed and ready is always smart. Could save you some time and or fumbling if you've got something in your hands. Hopefully I don't need all these, but I have a feeling I will. What else have I got out here? I've got a wash tub with water in it, because if that's sticky honey, it's gonna be everywhere when I'm starting to cut it. A knife of some sort to cut through wax and to cut it to shape to fit into these frames. Have it open and ready. I've got a bottling bucket here with the screen. I have a feeling there's gonna be some wax in here that I don't know what to do with, and I'm just gonna put it in there. If it's got honey or nectar in it, then I can save that, or I can go open feed it. What else have I got out here? My smoker's lit. I've got a full deep box ready in case it's that big, probably going to be on this heavy one, and I've got a couple open 5-frame nuke boxes if I needed to put it in there. And then we're basically ready. So I apologize for the weed eater in the background. Hopefully my mic is doing its job and overpowering that for you. All right, so for the first peek, and hopefully the light is good, I'm just gonna have to talk you through this from an open channel. This is the beauty of this design. Telescoping lid with an inner cover. That inner cover keeps them in there, but you can see them coming out. Here they go. You're gonna get a first peek. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe I missed this swarm trap. This is either an enormous swarm or it's grown. So we're gonna find out how much hatching brood there is. More than likely it's both, an enormous swarm and hatching brood. They're fanning, which is interesting. Fanning is usually when they're advertising the queen. She should be in here. They've only been in this closed up box for a couple of hours, and I've kept them out of the sun, so they should not have overheated, but you never know. Let's get this first edge frame out. Oh my goodness. Look at that. That's a perfectly drawn honey frame by a swarm in a swarm trap. They're not aggressive so far, so this is good. I should have talked about safety. When you're opening up swarms for the first time, I don't care how experienced you think you are or how well you think you know your bees, you need to be prepared for the unexpected. Wow, this is gorgeous. I almost want to extract this here in a few weeks. All right, but I'm just gonna set this aside in this deep. Looking for the queen. Who knows, maybe I'll find a marked queen and she's one of mine. See what we got here on this one. Wow, gorgeous brood. Lots more honey than brood. Lots of nectar. They are not aggressive at all. They're just fanning. It's a little gooey in there, probably from the truck ride. A little bit of this nectar splashing out. That's all. They're basically splashed with nectar. I'm gonna go quickly to look for the queen once, and then we'll have to go back through if I haven't found her. I'm already getting a little bit sticky from the nectar. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what happened is, a lot of that, the reason those are perfectly drawn is because the stuff that was on the bottom has broken off and fallen in the bottom. Hopefully nobody got squished queen-wise. Yeah, oh my God, there's just piles of bees in the bottom from the broken comb that just fell off the bottom. See these bottoms, they had drawn all that out, but I guess in the truck ride, it broke off. Nice looking brood pattern. The way they're fanning, I'm a little worried that queen is in the bottom of that box and they just can't smell her. I'm gonna have to pull the camera off to show you guys this. It's unbelievable, this pile down here. I think most of the brood was hanging down below because a lot of this is just top of the cap sort of stuff. There is a few eggs and larvae on this frame, but most of that wax in the bottom is probably where the queen was, and she may be squished or trapped at the moment. This fanning behavior is why I believe that. And another frame just broke off down below. Yeah, see, they're using the top of this for nectar storage. Okay, I don't see the queen here. This is the first piece I'm just gonna put in the bucket just to have a place to put it. All right, so that's all 5 frames, but I'm just gonna have to, hopefully this doesn't jiggle too much. Look at what we've got going on in here. I don't even know how to show you how many bees this is. And they're not dead. They're squishy and sticky that oh my gosh, there's just more bees in there than I know what to do with. All right, you're gonna get to watch because I don't know what I'm gonna do next. I need a different bucket, I think, to put them in. Oh, Lord. I think I'm just going to try to pull the comb out with my hands that has broken off. So just all nectar. So I guess in the heat, this wax was soft and the queen was probably down below and is now in this mass of bees. That has either been squished or gooped up. Just going to show you, these bees aren't dead, but they're all sticky and stuck together. This might just be a long shot to put bees into the bucket, let them clean themselves off. I wish I could have seen this hive swarm into here to see how large it was. See what I'm talking about? They're just gobs and gobs of bees just all gooped up. And the queen could be just slimed. And so here's an example of just being slimed. These bees just were in the wrong place at the wrong time when this wax broke off. Let's see if we got lucky with the queen. Definitely some brood down there, that's what this is. It's just a handful of bees. Okay, I've got most of the honey out of the bottom, but this is what I'm left with. It is just a goopy mess of bees. If the queen is in that bottom smashed, she could still be alive, but I just don't know how I'm gonna find her. So what I'm hoping is she's gonna be on the side and the bees will tell me where she is. Here's this hive, and what I'm looking for is fanning. Advertising of where the queen is. These guys are a little bit in shock with all this honey on them. But with a little bit of time, if she's alive, they will tell me where she is. So I'm gonna keep looking and let you guys keep watching. All right, YouTube, that was an absolute hot mess. I never found the queen. I've got most of the bees that were shakeable or brushable in the box. I've still got an enormous mess of honey, goopy bees, and she could be in here. They're not really fanning enough right now, so I'm just gonna leave these guys out here and let them settle. Maybe they'll find their way. A bunch of bees fell on the ground here, and I'm not really able to do much with that. So on to the next one. All right, on to the next adventure, as they say. Here we go. See what we got on the second one before they overheat. Hopefully this one is not the same hot mess. But look at all those bees. Woo-wee. They are a little feistier, which tells me they didn't get all gooped up. But there's a lot of honey in the top here. So I'm guessing there's gonna be a lot of brood in the bottom. There you go. So this is what that other one should have looked like before all the stuff on the bottom just melted or broke off. So now I've got to carefully look for the queen on this brood frame. Look at them pouring out. Okay, don't see her there, but I'm just going to lay this on here and cut that off. This is going to need another 10 framer, I think, but I'm just going to set these in 5 framers for now. Probably going to find the same on this one. Nope, because it dropped. It's in the bottom. Don't see as much honey on the underside of this one though. Here's a good example if you can see how it dropped. Lots of honey, and they're capping kind of the top off and going down below for brood. Okay, so now that I got all the brood out of there, now it's a little bit of a search for the queen based on fanning. So, just like before, maybe she's on the side. There is no honey mess inside this one. They're just all hanging on the wall. So they had much less time in here, or were slower building. Okay, I've come to a decision. And this is a little bit of an odd one because I haven't found a queen in either one of them, but more than likely I have good brood there. I'm going to combine these 2 swarms into this box and let them fight it out. I don't know what to do with all of these bees. First of all, another deep over there. So you're getting ready to watch the combination of 2 swarms into a double deep only because I don't have the equipment. And I also think that more than likely the queen in this one died. So I'm taking this double, setting these frames to the side. Giving them the stack. Go ahead and take these 2 I strung up, put them in the middle so they'll work on them first. I'm going to take these 5 frames back over, looking for the queen one more time. At this point, it probably doesn't even matter if I find her, but it's just, I guess, one of those beekeeper curiosities. Where's the queen? Okay, before I put those last few frames in there, I need some room for the shake and the brush. Never saw her. Too many bees. Those bees on the bottom are disrupted so much, they're not even gonna know, probably, if it's their queen or another queen, once they stop licking each other down. Lid. There. Where did I put my lid? Huh. Here we go. Okay, so for the purposes of letting them calm down, you may have noticed I had that propped up. They've got a lot of fanning to do, so I'm just gonna leave this ventilated for today. Let them settle down, figure out where they are, lick off the sugar. You know, there's still a chance she's down in here, but I don't know, I'll just have to let them kind of create a ball of bees and see if I can find her later. All right, everybody. Hopefully that wasn't too long. Double swarm, too big, waited too long, ended up combining them. Maybe there's at least one queen in there. If not, there's plenty of brood. They'll settle it out, fight it out, and make a new queen with the eggs that are in there. Hope you enjoyed that. Have a great day, everybody. See you next time.